Welcome to my rambling video on how to hold a handgun. So just so you know, this gun is empty. This is my HK P30L. No magazine. Nothing in the chamber. Decocked. So the first thing you want to do is you have this dovetail right here. You want to take the web of your hand and you really want to jam it up in there. Okay, you want as high grip as possible. You don't want to hold it like this because then the gun, when it goes off, can do this on you. You want to lock it into your hand, right? So with your grip up high, finger indexed, the next thing to do is you take your other hand and up against the trigger guard. So boom, wrap your fingers around, kind of like right in the middle of your knuckles. Sandwich it. Point your thumb at your target. Not like this, like that. Other thumb sits on top. Everything's nice and tight. You point your thumb at your target because that helps lock your left wrist. Then what I do on my right side is I rotate my elbow out. This then helps lock my right wrist. The less, it's harder to do this than it is to, because the gun, when it goes off, the gun wants to do this. Right? So if you lock it, it helps keep from that happening, helps manage recoil and all that kind of stuff, and muzzle flip. So you rotate, thumb pointed, and that's basically a reasonable grip until you get comfortable doing something slightly different or just figuring out pressure and all that between the two different hands. Next thing is obviously your trigger pull, which is a whole other topic of where, how to pull the trigger. Honestly, that's what it boils down to with shooting, is your trigger pull. You can have every bit of fancy red dot, any fancy sight, whatever. If you can't pull a trigger, you're done. The one thing you don't want to do, which I've seen multiple people do, and I know other people have seen multiple people do this, is that when they first go to grip the gun, they overlap their thumbs like this on the back part. Okay, you don't want to do that, because when you pull that trigger and the gun cycles, the slide will come back and it will really hurt. It'll mess up your hand, okay? That'll hurt real bad. I've never felt it. Thankfully, when I began shooting, I knew better. But new shooters, you'll often see them do that. So, under the dovetail, just like that. Locking the wrists, overlapping, nice and tight, nice firm grip. You don't want to hold it so tight that you're shaking, because then that becomes counter to everything you're trying to accomplish. But a nice firm grip, and the platform of the gun, like the type of gun and the size of the round, will dictate other things. I think shooting the 40 Smith & Wesson, which is a larger round than the 9mm, has actually helped me with shooting the 9mm, because I'm more used to dealing with a heavier cartridge than a 9. So when I go from a 40 to a 9, shooting the 9 is like nothing. So that's the basics of a pistol grip, at least a modern pistol grip. Thank you for sitting through my TED Talk.